The guest bedroom was the first time I got to paint my windows, and it was actually kind of cool. But let's back up a second. I added board and batten in here, and I'm not even sure I did it right. I did add some tape on the wall to see how high I wanted it before moving forward. And the brown stuff on the wall is this brown board that I cut down because I didn't want the texture of our orange peel walls to show. So I figured this would be the easiest way to cover it up. And then instead of traditional wood, I bought 4x8 sheets of MDF, and I cut it down to size for the batten. I did use 1x3 primed pine for that picture ledge, and I rounded the corners. Now, I have got a lot of hate for using MDF in here, so I wasn't sure if that was the correct thing to do, but it's worked out really well for us. MDF doesn't warp like wood does. And because the board and batten wasn't fancy enough, I added base cap molding to the inside of the boxes. Any guesses on how many tubes of caulk I used? And hours of sanding? Anyways, this window paint is called Mask and Peel, and it's so that way I could spray this room without the paint getting on the window. I used one paint sprayer for the primer, and that worked out pretty well. It did have a big tube on it that was pretty thick and kind of a pain in the ass to move around the room, I'm not gonna lie. But the finish was nice and smooth. It did take me a little while to choose a paint color, and I went with Shade Grown by Sherwin-Williams, and I got to use my new Graco paint sprayer, and that thing's amazing. And not videoed, I did paint the board and batten with the paint sprayer and the ceiling with the roller. And don't worry, I couldn't leave out some of that satisfying window peeling. We even added a crown molding made from foam. And here's what the room looked like when I was done back then. I had bought this bed off of Facebook Marketplace. It was a good find, but it wasn't super sturdy. It was kind of broken. You could tell right there that the footboard was leaning in. So I switched out the bed frame, and what do you think? This one's so pretty, and it kind of lightened up the room a little bit. And that new bedding I have is also gorgeous in here. Follow me for more fun DIYs and home projects.